Hello my dear students, in this lecture we are going to see two numericals. The first numerical we will see from GATE 2021 which is asked on welded joint, and the second question in this lecture we will see on the bolted joint which was asked in GATE 2020. That means the latest 2 year questions which were asked in GATE examination that we are going to see in this lecture. The question is, a cantilever beam of rectangular cross section is welded to a support by means of two fillet welds as shown in figure. Now here there is a cantilever beam. This beam is welded to the support. Here you can see this support. Right here, this is another view of the support. Right, support is a plate, and to this plate, this beam is of having the rectangular cross section is welded here, and there are two welds. Right. The vertical load of 2 kN acts at the free end of the beam. This 2 kN is acting at the free end of the beam. Now consider that allowable shear stress in the weld is 60 Newton per mm square. Now in this weld, the allowable shear stress meaning of this is maximum possible shear stress can be 60 Newton per mm square. Newton per mm square it is given. This is called allowable shear stress or maximum stress carrying capacity in shear. Right. Then the minimum size leg, here minimum size of leg of weld required is, now the leg size we have represented in theory lecture as ES. Therefore this ES they are asked in mm we have to find, round off to 1 decimal place. Now here we have to round off up to 1 decimal place. Right. Now my dear students, here you can see the diagram is given. Now my dear students, in this diagram can I say this weld is subjected to because of this 2 kN bending load as well as shear load. This 2 is acting as a shear as well as this 2 kN is acting as a bending, because it will try to bend the beam like this. Therefore because of this 2 kN there will be a bending stress, as well as if I transfer this 2 kN on the weld, it is acting as a direct shear stress also here like this. It is acting as a shear stress also. Right. Therefore there will be two types of stresses, that is shear stress and bending stress. So let us find these stresses. Right. My dear students, first of all I will find shear stress. Then shear stress acting will be here force divided by area. Shear area we have to consider. Therefore shear stress will be equal to force is nothing but 2 kN, which is nothing but 2 into 1000 Newton. Right. Here this 2 kN is a force which is nothing but 2000 Newton. By shear area, can I say the shear area will be, let us say this weld will be having some thickness T. This weld will be having some thickness T. Right. Now my dear students, can I say here height is 40, thickness is T. Such type of there are two welds. They have mentioned two fillet welds. Here in the question only they have mentioned two fillet welds. Means here one area is height is 40, for this weld height is 40 into thickness T. This is the one area, that is 40 into T. This is the one area, but there are such two fillet welds, therefore we have to multiply with 2. Therefore this will be the shear stress in the weld, which will be equal to, if I simplify this, I will get 25 divided by T. After simplification I will get 25 divided by T in MPa. If I put their values in MPa, that is Newton per mm square, then thickness will be in mm. Right. Again there will be a bending stress, my dear students. As it is bending, there will be a bending stress, and bending stress will be calculated as sigma b by, we have a bending equation, m by I is equal to sigma b by y. Sigma b by y is equal to m by I. Right. This is the bending stress equation. Therefore this bending stress induced will be equal to m by I into y. Right. Now my dear students, y is nothing but from this neutral axis the vertical distance is y. Here the total weld is for 40 length, therefore the half will be the y. Therefore y will be 40 divided by 2, that is 40 divided by 2 will be the y. Right. Therefore y will be, here we will find y first. Y will be 40 divided by 2, which is nothing but 20 mm. Right. And my dear students, I, now here this is a weld. For this weld, here you can see there is a weld like this. Right. For this weld there is a thickness T and height B. Therefore if I calculate I about this axis, right, about this axis I is nothing but B d cube divided by 12. Here B is thickness, D is height, that is 40 cube divided by 12. But my dear students, this I is only for one weld, but there are such two welds, right? Therefore total I we have to multiply with these two. Therefore I we can say t into 40 cube into 2 divided by 12. Likewise the total I for two welds, right? Now once the I is calculated, y is calculated, let us find this bending moment, right? Here our target is to find bending moment also, then only we can find bending stress. Now bending moment is nothing but this force into distance of this weld. On this weld the bending moment acting is force into distance of this weld. Therefore we can say the bending moment will be equal to force is 2000 into distance of weld is 150 mm from the force. Therefore it is Newton mm because force we are using in Newton and distance in mm. Therefore 2000 into 150. Now let us find then this bending stress. Here I will erase the question so that we will get sufficient space for the solution, right? So my dear students, we can say this bending stress sigma b is equal to m by I into y. Therefore m is nothing but m is given 2000 into 150 into y is we have calculated as 20 divided by I. I is nothing but t into 40 cube into 2 divided by 12. Here in the denominator there is a 12, but this 12 will go up into the numerator. Therefore here only I am doing this correction step. Therefore this 12 will go into the numerator into multiplication 12, right? So my dear students, if I simplify this for bending stress, then I will get bending stress is equal to 562.5 divided by T. This is the value of bending stress, right? Now again it is in MPa, right? So my dear students, once we have calculated the shear stress tau and bending stress sigma b, if I check a element on the weld, then this element is subjected to one type of stress which is called bending stress sigma b, as well as it is subjected to shear stress tau. It is subjected to shear stress tau. That means the weld zone is subjected to complex stresses where sigma x is equal to sigma b, sigma y is 0 here, and tau xy is nothing but plus tau here, shear stress tau, right? And for this complex state of stress, for the formula to find maximum shear stress, because in the question they have provided value for maximum shear stress, this maximum shear stress from this complex stresses will be equal to under root of, we have formula sigma x minus sigma y by 2 whole square plus tau xy square. This is the formula to find this maximum shear stresses. So let us find this maximum shear stress, and here we will equate with given shear stress, right? So my dear students, given shear stress, given maximum shear stress is 60 Newton per mm square, means 60 MPa. This is the given value. Therefore this maximum shear stress will be equal to under root of sigma x is sigma b, sigma y is 0 divided by 2 whole square plus tau xy is tau square. So let us put the values. Therefore tau maximum is equal to under root of sigma b is nothing but 562.5 divided by t. This is sigma b, and there is a divide 2 whole square plus tau is nothing but here 25 divided by t and whole square, right? So my dear students, in this equation 1 upon t square is common. Therefore if I take this 1 upon t square outside square root, and if I put this sigma max value, then we will get this sigma max is 60 is equal to 1 upon t, and in root we will find 562.5 divided by 2 whole square plus 25 whole square, right? And in this equation only thickness is unknown, so solve for thickness. And my dear students, if I solve for thickness, then we will get this thickness is equal to approximately 4.71, approximately 4.71 mm, right? This is the thickness of weld. But my dear students, they are asking leg size, right? My dear students, question is not to find thickness, here question is to find leg size, and leg size is represented by s, right? And my dear students, this thickness is nothing but it is leg size divided by under root 2. Therefore this leg size will be equal to under root 2 into thickness. Therefore this leg size will be equal to under root 2 into thickness is 4.71. So let us simplify this. So if you solve this question, you will find it is equal to 6.65 mm. Hence my dear students, in fill in the blanks you have to type this 6.65 mm, right? And already it is given here Already it is given, therefore you have to type 6.65 for getting full marks. Now the next question was asked on the bolted joint in GATE 2020 in set 1 for 2 marks. Now let us understand this question. The question is a rectangular steel bar of length 500 mm. Here you will find the rectangular steel bar of length 500 mm. Here 100 plus 100 plus 300 is total length is 500 mm. Right. Width 100 mm. Now here the width of this rectangular steel bar is 100 mm. This is given. Right. And thickness 15 mm is cantilevered to a 200 mm steel channel using 4 bolts as shown. Now here 200 mm steel channel you can see, and using the bolts it is connected to the channel, right? And there are total 4 bolts are used, A, B, C, D. These are the bolts, and distances are also given, right? Now here diagram is given, steel channel, steel bar, right? Here another view, and this is the channel, right? For external load of 10 kilonewton, here external load of 10 kilonewton is applied at the tip of the steel bar. The resultant shear load on the bolt B is in kilonewton. Round off to the 1 decimal place. Now my dear students, for such type of loading, what will be the resultant load on bolt B? Right. Here our target is to find force on B is equal to question mark in kilonewton. Again in kilonewton we have to find. So let us find this. Now my dear students, as these 4 bolts are shown, let us draw these 4 bolts. Right. Here there will be a bolt A. At some distance from A there will be a bolt B, right? Then there will be a bolt C somewhere here and bolt D, right? These are the 4 bolts A, B, C, D. Now exact center of the all bolts are at O. The exact center of all the bolts is at O. Let us mark this O, right? Here whatever may be the distances given, these distances I am representing here. There is the exact center is at O, right? And my dear students, can you see here, this 10 kilonewton is acting at some eccentricity from the O. Now here from O, the eccentricity of 10 kilonewton is this much from O, which will be, can I say it is 100 plus 300, that is eccentricity is equal to 400, right? This eccentricity of force F of 10 kilonewton from the O is 300, right? Therefore here you will find this force and having eccentricity of 400 mm. Therefore 1 point I will get eccentricity is equal to 400 mm, right? Now my dear students, can you imagine that this force of 10 kilonewton is trying to rotate this steel bar around this plate. Therefore this force F is creating the torsional shear stress, as well as this force I can transfer this force from this location to the O also. Now from O the force is at 10 kilonewton. Now the procedure to transfer this 10 kilonewton at O, here the 10 kilonewton I can transfer as it is, but along with this 10 kilonewton we have to transfer the moment created by this force along this O, and the moment created will be 10 into 400, 10 into 400, right? And this moment is acting as a torque. This is the torque, and this torque is nothing but, we can say 10 kilonewton into 400 mm. This is kilonewton mm. 10 into 400 kilonewton mm. This will be the torque, right? And my dear students, the purpose of these bolts is to resist this primary shear load of 10 kilonewton as well as this torsional shear, that is torque, to resist this torsional shear load also. Now because of these forces in these bolts there will be a primary shear loads, that is opposite to the applied load. Applied load is downward direction. Therefore in every bolt we can say opposite to this 10 kilonewton there will be a primary shear load, and primary shear load is represented by PS, right? Therefore here there will be a PS1, let us say PS1 in bolt D as well as PS1 in bolt B, and primary shear load in each and every bolt is same. Therefore in B also there will be a PS1, in C also there will be a PS1, right? And primary shear load acting in all the bolts is same. And my dear students, this primary shear load is nothing but calculated as total force divided by number of bolts, which is number total force is downward direction is 10 divided by number of bolts are 4, therefore it is 2.5 kilonewton. Therefore simply we can say in each and every bolt there will be a upward primary shear load which is of magnitude 2.5 kilonewton. Now my dear students, again to balance this 10 kilonewton we have applied 2.5 kilonewton in each bolt, but there is a torque also. Now here there is a torque of magnitude 10 kilonewton into 400 mm. This torque is also we have to cancel. Now this torque is creating moment, or this torque is in clockwise direction. So to cancel this torque, we have to apply anti-clockwise torque on each and every bolt. Now for all bolts together, the centroid will be at point O. Therefore, let us measure the distance of all bolts from the centroid. Right. Now, my dear students, here here from O, the vertical distance of B is given 50. Here you can check. Here 50. And the horizontal distance of B from O is given also 50. In the diagram you can check here 50 50, right? Therefore, let us draw these lines. Here if I draw one horizontal line from the O, as well as if I draw vertical line from the O, the distance of B, vertical distance of B from the O is 50, as well as for D the vertical distance is 50. Again the horizontal distance of B from the O is 50 mentioned, as well as the distance of A as well as C is 50 from the O. Now my dear students, here the distance of bolt B from the O is called radius of B. This will be the, we can say, radius of B, as well as distance of D from the O is radius of D, as well as distance of C from the O is called radius of C, as well as distance of A from the O is called radius of A, right? Now these are the radiuses, right? Now my dear students, here my target is to find this radius. Now let us check the one triangle here, right? Here I will draw the triangle with red color. Let us check this red color triangle. That is triangle here B point. Let us say here there is a P point and O point. If I check triangle OPB, can I say in this triangle OB is hypotenuse because BP and PO is horizontal and BP is vertical. They are perpendicular to each other. Therefore, RB, radius of bolt B, is nothing but OB, which is hypotenuse. Therefore, to find this RB, can I say RB is equal to under root of 50 square plus 50 square, because vertical distance is 50, horizontal distance is 50. Therefore, the radius of bolt B, RB, will be equal to 50 root 2 mm. Right, this is the radius of bolt B. Now, similarly, for each and every bolt, the distance of that bolt from the O will be same as that of RB because of symmetry. The same calculation you can do. Therefore, we can find the radius of A is equal to radius of B is equal to radius of C bolt is equal to radius of D bolt is equal to 50 root 2 mm from bolt from O. Now, once you calculate all the radiuses, now my dear students, here the torque acting on these bolts are in clockwise direction. Therefore, to cancel this clockwise torque, we have to apply anti-clockwise torque on all the bolts. And my dear students, to apply this anti-clockwise torque, now the force which is creating torque must be perpendicular to radius only. Therefore, at B, concentrate on B, because we will solve only for the B, because here question is to find resultant load on bolt B. Now on this B, can I say for this radius there will be a perpendicular force which will create torque in anti-clockwise direction about O. Therefore, there will be a secondary shear load to cancel this torque on the B will be, let us say this is PS2, right? This will be the PS2, right? And my dear students, definitely we can say the angle between PS1 and PS2 will be 45 degree, right? Here you can check. Here if I extend this line, right? Now my dear students, here this height is 50 and base is also 50, therefore this angle will be 45 degree. Here this angle is 45 degree theta, therefore this angle which is 90 degree, therefore this will be theta also. 2 theta is 90 degree, right? 2 theta is 90 degree, therefore this will be the theta also. This will be the theta. This is simple trigonometry that you must know, and in many numericals, previous numericals, we have seen this trigonometry. Now to justify this, you can see the triangle OPB, the triangle OPB, right? At this point it is a 50, it is a 50, and this is a 90 degree angle. Therefore at B there will be a 45 degree angle, right? Means theta is 45 degree. Here this angle theta I am assuming, this is a 45 degree. Therefore on this side also there will be theta, right? And this is a vertical line, this will be the theta also, right? Same angle will be there, right? Because they are perpendicular to each other. Here these two lines, are perpendicular here. These two lines are perpendicular. Radius is perpendicular to force or not? Radius is perpendicular to force. Therefore, this is a theta and this is also theta, right? Therefore, one thing we got, the angle between PS1 and PS2 is 45 degree. Therefore, on bolt B, there is a PS1 in vertical direction, which is in the 2.5 kilonewton, as well as there is a PS2, right? There is a PS2, and angle between them is 45 degree. Therefore, let us find this PS2. Now, my dear students, to find this primary secondary shear load, we have a formula. It is P into E, that is torque, into, if I want to find for B, then I have to multiply here with radius of B divided by radius of A square plus radius of B square plus radius of C square plus radius of D square. And this formula we have already derived in theory lectures. You can watch my theory lectures for this formula. Therefore, this primary shear load on bolt B will be equal to force is nothing but 10 kilonewton, sorry. Force is given 10 kilonewton. Distance is given 400 mm. Eccentricities, RB is 50 root 2 divided by, now RA, RB, RC, RD all are 50 root 2. Therefore, I can write here 4 into 50 root 2 whole square. Right, this is how we can simplify. Therefore, if I simplify this, then I will get this primary shear load, secondary shear load will be equal to 14.14 kilonewton. Here I have kept 10 in kilonewton, 10 kilonewton. Therefore, the answer will be in 10 kilonewton only, right? This is how I will get secondary shear load, and primary shear load already we have calculated. Now the resultant we have to find on bolt B. The resultant will be in between these two. This will be the resultant load on B. And my dear students, as per law of parallelogram, the resultant load on B will be equal to under root of PS1 square plus PS2 square plus twice PS1 PS2 cos of angle between them. Angle between them is 45 degree. Therefore, put here values. Therefore, the resultant load on bolt B will be equal to primary shear load is 2.5 square plus secondary is 14.14 square plus 2 into 2.5 into 14.14 into cos 45. Now, if I simplify this, then I will get resultant load on bolt B, which is equal to 16 kilonewton. 16 kilonewton. So, my dear students, in this exam, they were asking you what will be the resultant load on bolt B in kilonewton. Then you have to type in fill in the blanks only 16 for getting full marks. Thank you, dear students. In next lecture, we will start new topic.